What's going on, Giants fans? Back at it with our 53-man roster prediction, and I'm joined alongside my co-host, Sam Cardona, the girl who talks sports. Sam, welcome back. Really excited to get into the 2023 season, and we've got a lot in store for the folks today. How's it going?
It's going really good. I'm excited. It's my first Big Blue Avenue video of the year. And, I'm always stoked to see who ends up making the roster, who ends up getting cut, and the team that we're going to be working with this year. So I'm excited to go over this with you.
Absolutely. Now, it's always an adventure going from 90 to 53. It's nice in a way, but it also stinks for those guys who worked so hard. And unfortunately, it's basically getting fired from your job, which, that's the unfortunate nature of the NFL, not for long. But
Yeah.
let's get into who we think's going to make this roster, folks. Also, just a heads up, I still have my Florida background, so bear with me today. But if you like what you watch and want to find out more of our content, make sure to check us out on all of our social media, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Big Blue Avenue, coming back for a new season, debuting, I believe, the second Thursday in September, right before the Week 1 Dallas game. So very excited about that. So, Sam, I want to talk to you here. Did you get to catch any highlights of the Jets preseason game last night? Or was there any player that really caught your eye? Was there anything significant to you in that game?
I unfortunately did not have a chance to physically watch the game, but I was, getting ESPN updates, score updates, things along those lines. And honestly, we were even talking about it last night when we were going back and forth via text. And unfortunately, I feel like, and we'll talk about this when we get into our first, position here with the quarterbacks, but I really like Tommy DeVito. I really do. I think that if he doesn't make this team, I think that he's made a name for himself and that he's, people are noticing him and he might get picked up by another team or even on a practice squad somewhere. But that kid really came out here and he just put his heart out on that field and did everything that he could, knowing pretty well that there's obviously Daniel Jones and Tyrod Taylor on this team already. But he didn't care and he did what he had to do. And I respect him for it. And he did great for us this preseason.
Yeah, I mean, despite the pick six last night, that was really his only flaw of the game. And he is a rookie, so expect mistakes to happen. I thought he played great. Local Jersey kid. Had the touchdown to Tommy Sweeney in the first preseason game. And I think DeVito ultimately, spoiler alert, I don't think he cracks the 53. But if Tyrod Taylor was not under contract for one more year, I think he might. And if he clears waivers, spends the rookie year on the practice squad, I think he could develop into a nice quarterback two next year because Taylor won't be under contract next year.
Right.
He's getting a little older, 34, 35 years old, and maybe DeVito is that guy. I know he went to Illinois, which our buddy Andy Hopper loves the Fighting Illini, and DeVito played really well. He's a field general, but so I'm assuming you have two quarterbacks as well, in addition to me.
Yes.
Is it DJ and Tyrod?
It is. Yep.
So those are our two QBs. I'll pin that since we have the same guesses there. So that puts us at 2. Next up, we have the running back position. Sam, tell me who you're keeping and who misses the cut.
This one actually was a little bit tough for me. I'm not gonna lie, but this today we're filming this on Sunday, August 27th. Today they released James Robinson, which was not surprising to us. He really didn't do well this preseason. But I have Saquon Barkley, obviously, Matt Breida, who I really really like, and I feel like I remember talking about him a lot last season as well. I'm going Eric Gray because he's doing very well with returning. And then I kind of was going back and forth between Brightwell and Corbin. And I feel like I'm going to go Brightwell here, but I wouldn't be surprised if Corbin ends up making the roster instead.
That's a good prediction. Originally, Sam, I had Brightwell making it, but I just don't know with the injury that he's dealing with. I know he missed almost all of preseason. He might have played a little bit against the Panthers. Was the Panthers or the Lions? Trying to remember. I think it was the Lions game. I have just 3. right now.
Okay.
I think ultimately they'll add a fourth. Um, if they do keep a fourth, though, I'd probably lean Jashawn Corbin, even though he's probably more likely to land on the practice squad and not get claimed. So I have the top three that you had: Barkley, obviously, Breida, and then Eric Gray. Gray might be our leadoff kickoff return specialist come week one. So
Yeah,
I
definitely.
like I like him a lot. You know, James Robinson had a nice run last night. He had a 28-yard run, but 28 of his 55 rushing yards came on one carry. So you eliminate that run. He has 9 rushes for 27 yards against third string
Yeah,
defenders.
not
So
great.
no, he just wasn't cutting it for me all preseason. He's bounced around the NFL a few teams now: Jaguars, Patriots, Jets, and the Giants. So I wish him the best. Obviously, um, I'm wondering if Brightwell could start the season on PUP. I'm not sure, but if I did keep a fourth, I would choose Gary Brightwell. So you have 4, I have 3.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so there's our first difference. Here's an interesting one: receiver.
Yes.
Who do you have? Now, obviously, this is going to be interesting because there's so many wide receivers, and unfortunately, we just found out that Bryce Ford Wheaton tore his ACL and is out.
Yeah.
Very sad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I have 8 receivers. Um, and last night when I was putting this together, Ford Wheaton was like teetering for me. And then, the injury happened, which we found out that he tore his ACL. Unfortunately, Wheaton for me is not going to be making this roster unless he ends up on injured reserve, whatever ends up happening. But I got to go Isaiah Hodgins, our star in the making, in my opinion. I feel like he's going to be the next guy up to just lead this wide receiver core for us. Obviously, Darius Slayton. I'm going Cole Beasley. I don't know if that's more hopeful than anything, but I really like Cole Beasley. Paris Campbell, Jalen Hyatt, obviously our draft pick. Sterling Shepard, who we both agree may or may not be on his last year of playing here. Wandale Robinson will be on injured reserve or pup, I think, going into the season. I don't remember exactly where he's at in his rehabilitation process. And then I'm adding David Sills into the mix. I know we've been going back and forth about him, but I feel like he's been proving himself, and I think he deserves a spot on this roster.
Yeah, especially after last night: 6 catches, 81 yards, a touchdown. Had a couple good blocks as well. He had the key block on the Corbin touchdown. So yeah, it's with Ford Wheaton being hurt, it's hard to leave David Sills off based off of special teams. So you had Hodgins, Slayton, Hyatt,
Hmm.
Beasley, Shep, Wandale, Sills, and
And
Paris
Paris.
Campbell.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually have the same.
Oh, wow.
Um,
Nice.
but I think Wandale goes to the pup. Joe Shane, he's funny. He's really a magician. You don't know what he's thinking sometimes.
Yeah.
He says Wandale, he's a day closer. He's a day closer. But since I haven't seen him in preseason, I think initially they keep 8, but they move Wandale to pup, putting the Giants receivers at 7, and then that leaves the 4th running back spot open to claim.
Right.
Right? You can add in Brightwell or Corbin, or you could claim somebody off of waivers. So ultimately, that's what I think happens, because we've seen in the past, I think last year, originally they only kept 2 tight ends, Daniel Bellinger and Tanner Hudson, and then
Right.
they added a 3rd tight end later on. So I think that's what's going to happen. They go with 8 receivers and 3 backs, but Wandale will either go to stay on PUP or go to short-term IR, miss the first 3 to 4 weeks, and then come back. So I do have 8 making the initial 53.
No Jameson Crowder.
No, see, it's unfortunate. I think he was
Yeah.
competing with Cole Beasley.
Yes.
You know, I think Beasley showed a little bit more in the first preseason game. I think, my personal opinion, I think Beasley is the best route runner on this team.
Yeah.
You know?
He's a vet, he's been around for such a long time, and like he obviously, I mean, like I think he retired last year, right? He came out of retirement and all this stuff, and we know he was on the Bills and he was doing great there, but he's just one of those guys that he'll just shoot right up. He'll catch a ball right down the middle of the field, and he doesn't care if he gets hit or not. And that's the kind of guy that
No,
we need in this receiving core for sure.
absolutely. I agree. Um, Moving on to tight ends, Sam, how many tight ends do you have? And I know this is a soft spot because we love tight ends. I think I could be wrong, but it's one of your favorite positions on an NFL roster.
Yes.
Honestly, it's my favorite position because, again, they don't catch the ball much, but when they do, it's awesome. But now, a little different with Darren Waller.
Yes.
Talk to me. Who do you have at tight end making this? Hopefully, you didn't pick 6, but
I didn't. No, I told Tom last night that I was like, I wish we could have like 6 tight ends on this
yeah,
roster, but I have 3.
okay.
Darren Waller, my boy Daniel Bellinger, and Lawrence Cager. Just because we talked about Sweeney this offseason, and unfortunately he's dealing with some medical issues right now. I really liked what I was seeing from him. I loved when Tommy DeVito threw him a touchdown in that preseason game a couple weeks ago. I think he could be great, but unfortunately, with everything that was going on, that wasn't going to make the cut. So I went Lawrence Cager there.
Yeah, I do think Sweeney is a potential practice squad candidate for
Yeah.
sure. My biggest concern, I also have 3, and I have the same 3, but I did a last-minute switch. I took Myrick out and put Sills in. Myrick's another guy who knows the system. He's been around for a while. I won't be shocked if he makes it at all. I like the player. He played some H-back for us last year, fullback, tight end. But I think Waller, Bellinger, and Cager are the 3 best tight ends on the roster. Waller and Cager, of course, converted receivers into tight end. The only concern with that is where is the second blocking tight end on the roster? Can Waller block? I
Yeah.
believe he can, but Bellinger is our best blocking tight end. I know Cager is not a good blocker, which is concerning. So that's why I was toying with the idea of Myrick. But for the initial 53, I'm going to go with 3. I do think there'll be some shuffling around, and eventually they'll add a 4th. But that's what I have right. It's tough. I mean, this is the toughest time I've had doing this in years, to be honest with you. So.
Yeah, no, it's unfortunate. Like I said, I wish we could have a bunch of tight ends on this roster, but I like to think that Darren Waller can block. He is that star tight end. He is going to make plays for us. He is going to be in the red zone, but I'm sure that he can do what he needs to do, and hopefully that works out for us.
And if we're keeping 8 receivers like we do, you can't really keep 4 tight ends.
Yeah, exactly.
Offensive line. Oh, this is fun. They've already made several cuts at O-line at the time of this video. They've parted ways with Corey Cunningham, Julian Davenport, and I know Wyatt Davis got hurt last night with the ankle. So I know he's in limbo at the moment. So I have 9. I have Andrew Thomas, Ben Bredesen, John Michael Schmitz, Mark Lewinsky, Evan Neal as my starting 5. Backups, I have Josh Azudu, 3rd-round pick last year. I have Tyre Phillips making it. He started a couple games for us last year, even though he's been hurt right now. Who knows if he'll be ready for week 1. I have Shane Lemieux making it. I know he's clearly on the bubble. He's on the last year of his rookie contract, but I think you want another veteran in there to back up and compete. I also like his versatility at guard and center. And then Marcus McKeithen is another guy I can't give up on as of yet. 6'7", 300-something pounds, was teammates with Azudu at North Carolina. I have Matt Peart off. I thought he was really bad last night, to be honest, and it's a shame. I like the guy. He's former 3rd-round pick, but false start. He gave up at least 2 sacks last night, and I think the Giants might try to claim a swing tackle. And one of these 9 I originally have making it, maybe Shane Lemieux gets replaced by a swing tackle. I don't know. So, yeah, it is concerning. I don't have a true swing tackle on the roster, but I think McKeithen can cross train, and Phillips did play mostly tackle last year when we needed him. So that's what I got. I have 9, and I have my surprise cut there as Matt Peart.
Yeah, I have almost the same. My one change is that I don't have Shane Lemieux on here, and I have Jack Anderson instead.
Jack
Um,
Anderson.
yeah, I just Shane Lemieux has been around for a while. You know, I would like to have him on there, but like you were saying, he's kind of teetering on the edge of the bubble here. And Matt Peart, what a sad cut that's going to be, because I really don't think he's going to make it either. But I feel like Matt Peart's been around. I feel like for quite a number of years at this point, and I did enjoy him, and I think that he was getting there at some point. But this preseason, just he wasn't cutting it.
Yeah, it's very sad. I think the draft pick of Evan Neal might have really hurt his confidence, but I mean, they had to upgrade from the position. I do like Jack Anderson as well. I would like to keep both him and Shane Lemieux. I just think my thought process, I think Anderson would be less likely to get claimed than Shane Lemieux, but from a consistency standpoint, you're right. Anderson's a lot more healthy than Shane Lemieux is. I could totally see them keeping Jack in. Plus, he's a former Bill, so
Yeah.
I could see Jack making it over Shane for sure. But I'll stick with Shane for this exercise. Defensive line. Now, who do you have, Sam? I have 5.
I also have 5 here.
Okay. Let's see, we have the same 5.
I went Leo, of course, Leonard Williams, Sexy Dexy, Raheem Nunez Roches, Jordan Riley, and Ashawn Robinson.
I have the same 5, and tough cuts with Ryder Anderson and DJ David. DJ Davidson was a 5th-round pick last year and might not make the roster.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, especially like when you have to lose a draft pick that early on. It's like, you know, it feels like a kind of a waste of a pick, but I feel like these guys are going to be the better linemen up front and doing what needs to be done for this defense.
Riley had awful film at Oregon. He really, really did. So I was before the preseason, I didn't have him making it, but he's earned his way on. He has earned his way on. You know, Davidson battling back from an injury, Anderson a little banged up too in the preseason. So yeah, that's my pick there. I have 5 as well. Now, for edge and linebacker, we're going to do these two together. So, Sam, we'll start with you again. How many do you have? We'll start with the edge players, and then we'll go to I know it's complicated because you have Isaiah Simmons now, who plays several different positions. But who do you have?
So I have 9 total, and I'm pretty sure I mixed them all together. I'm pretty sure I did 4 for the edge.
Okay.
Kayvon, Aziz, I'm trying to remember who was where. Jihad Ward, right? He's an edge. And I guess, is Simmons considered an edge, or is he more of a linebacker for us?
Yeah, see, he's an interesting one because he can come off the edge. He could play linebacker. He could play safety. So
yeah, he could do anything.
Yeah, he could apply as an edge. I mean, yeah. I mean, I have Tomon Fox for mine, but
I have him on here too. He was
so I have both. So technically, it's like 4 or 5. It's confusing because Simmons can play all over.
Simmons is kind of he's like a Swiss Army knife kind of. He can go in either direction or whatever. But yeah,
he's a positionless player. He's going to play like the Landon Collins, Tony Jefferson role of last year. So I am excited for that. But who do you have for the rest of the linebackers?
The rest of the guys here, I got Bobby Okereke, Micah McFadden, who I know you're a fan of, Darian Beavers, and the hardest one I think that we've been dealing with. I'm gonna go Carter Coughlin. I'm struggling between him and Cam Brown, but I think I'm gonna go Coughlin here.
Yeah, that's a good pick. He's shined this preseason. He shines in preseason every year, and typically he leads the Giants in special teams tackles every single year. And I think one thing he showed more than Cam Brown is he can play more defense. He can actually play linebacker on defense over Cam Brown. So for me, I have Kayvon, Aziz, Ward, and Fox as my edge rushers. You could throw Simmons in there too if you want. I have him in as a linebacker.
Okay.
So I have 4 edge, and I have 6 linebackers. I have Okereke, Simmons, McFadden, Beavers, Coughlin, and I do have Cam Brown making it too, only because I'm carrying an extra one. But if they do keep 5, Cam Brown would be my odd guy out. So I just Coughlin and Brown are best friends. That's what
I
that would
know.
stink if one of them had to leave. But I think, Sam, this is part of the growing pains, right? The Giants are becoming a better football team, and the players we had 3 to 4 years ago are starting to get replaced by younger and better players, thanks to the good drafting of Joe Shane, so Brandon Brown, Brian Dable. So, yeah, I do like Mike McFadden. He's a good technician. He's a really good technician. He's solid tackler. I think I'm going to like Bobby a lot, too. Bobby O.
Yeah. I'm stoked to see Bobby Okereke in action.
It's like finally a good linebacker since Blake Martinez, right? So I know you're a big Blake Martinez fan as well.
Yeah.
So
Miss Blake, but
yeah, we wish him the best. And we will move on to our defensive backs, corners and safeties. Again, some of these players are interchangeable. That can play both corner and safety, but we'll just do DBs in total. How many do you have, Sam?
I got corners and safeties together. I got 10.
Mm-hmm.
So I got 5 and 5 for each.
Me too. Look at that.
Look at that. For corners, I'm doing Adoree Jackson, Deontay Banks, obviously, Cordell Flott, Trey Hawkins, and Amani. I always have a hard time saying his last name. Uwaraway?
Yeah, Oruwariye. I don't know. Like it's complicated. So
Yeah. I have Darnay Holmes as my big cut of the roster. I think with Simmons coming into the mix and his salary cap and everything like that, I feel like money wise, it'd be nice to keep him, but
yeah.
I'd rather have Simmons here.
Yeah, we get a lot of money buying Darnay. They could save almost $3 million by cutting Darnay Holmes, which I also have him as a cut. I have Adoree, Deontay, Trey, Cordell. I have Aaron Robinson in over Oruwariye because
He's going to be on the pup though, no?
Yeah, so I think if I remember correctly, unless Robinson is out for the year, even if they're on PUP, they have to make the additional 53. Otherwise, they have to go through waivers with an injury settlement. I don't think I'm ready to give up on Aaron Robinson yet, only because it's talking with Brian McCardle, because Robinson went to UCF, which is Brian's school. I think he does have some good game in him. I just think he needs to develop. He fits Wink's scheme, but definitely over Darnay Holmes for sure.
Yeah.
Oruwariye is the one corner that pretty much stayed healthy that played last night over guys like Jamon Green. Rodarius Williams was waived last week and claimed by Tampa Bay. Who else? Zion Gilbert won't make this team. Darren Evans was waived earlier today. So, but yeah, let's get to your safety, Sam.
Safety tier. Yeah. Xavier McKinney, Jason Pinnock, Javarius Ward I have on here. Dane Belton and Nick McLeod. I have Ward beating out Bobby McCain, but I think that he's still a very good player. I have no thought in my mind that he wouldn't get picked up by another team if he gets cut.
Right. You mean Owens out of Houston? I'm trying to remember. Javarius Owens.
Oh, did I write Ward? I meant Owens, yeah.
All good. Yeah, he's the rookie out of Houston. I have him making it. I have Belton making it. I have obviously Axe and Pinnock.
Yep.
Alex Cook, the undrafted safety out of Washington, won't make it. He's a practice squad candidate. I have Nick McLeod making it.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. I don't think Bobby McCain makes it. He had a concussion last night, which I think ruined any chance that he had, unfortunately. They'll probably waive him with an injury settlement. Hopefully he's okay, though. Yeah, 5 safeties. And then special teams, I think this is automatic. Gano, Gillen, Kreider.
Yep. That's what I got.
53, right?
That's 53.
Wow. That's it. That's our 53-man roster projection. I think some practice squad guys, too. Like, some of these guys that we're predicting might not make it. They might make the practice squad, you know. I hope DeVito makes the practice squad. I'll tell you that.
Me too.
Stinks about Ford Wheaton.
I know. I really thought he was going to make this roster. I really thought he was going to, kind of be like this, lower roster guy that kind of built his way up. But I hope he gets better soon. Torn ACL is obviously never a good thing.
Right. So let's see who the Giants elect to keep. Those are our 53 players. Folks, just want to quickly shout out our sponsor for today's episode, BetUS. You can sign up with our promo code below at Join125. You can get a 125% sign-up bonus if you like to sports bet. So go check out the BetUS Sportsbook. That is where the game begins. So interesting predictions. We're going to get to the bottom of this with cut down day coming up on Tuesday. 11 moves have been made, 26 more to go. Sam, any final thoughts before we sign off?
I think we had pretty similar picks here. There was just a couple here and there that we were a little different on, but overall, either way, I feel like this roster is just getting stronger and stronger every year, especially since Dable and Shane took over. But I am really, really stoked for this upcoming season. I know that we did only won one preseason game, but it's preseason. That's the whole point. It's just figuring out who's making your team. And I'm ready for week 1. I'm ready to take on those Dallas Cowboys, and it's going to be a good one. I'm stoked.
September 10th can't get here quick enough. I'll tell you that much. But thank you so much, Sam, for hopping on. Appreciate your analysis as always. And folks, if you like what you watch from Sam and myself, make sure to check us out on our social media on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube at Big Blue Avenue. We'll make sure to recap the final 53 as well once it's announced. And again, Giants are pretty low on the waiver wire this year, so I don't expect too many waiver claims, but 1 or 2 would be nice. So on behalf of Sam, I'm Tom. Appreciate you all tuning in today. And without further ado, let's go Big Blue.